Hello and welcome back to Nigeria Decides. I'm Mark Edo and we're joined by the political correspondent Sulaiman Aledeh. He's in Lagos via Skype. Sulaiman's going to help us make sense of some of the biggest political stories happening in Nigeria at the moment. Sulaiman, hello. Welcome to the program.
Well, many thanks. Good to see you all.
Sulaiman, do you agree with me that this is probably the most exciting political bear pit that we've ever seen the bones fly out of since I've been watching politics? I mean, it looks like it's going to be a bruising battle, don't you think?
Absolutely, Mark. A lot of people have been waiting for this moment. 2019 is sure going to be one big bellyache for many politicians, and this is because as you move towards the elections, you bound to movement from across political line, just as we've seen. And that's not the end. Just wait, just before the end of the year, you're likely to see people moving from one other party to the other. Call it a swap, but that's what we're likely to see as we move towards a big moment.
So you're going to see more musical chairs between the parties. I mean, we were talking just before the break about ideologies and the term of APC's ideology and PDP's ideology. What do they stand for? You know what the Conservative Party in the UK stands for, and the Labour Party. You know what the Democrats and you know what the Republicans stand for in the US. When it comes to Nigeria, especially when you see this jumping back and forth from parties, it's almost like they're not parties, they're platforms. Am I being too cynical, do you think, Sulaiman?
You're not cynical at all, Mark. The truth is that when we have them come on our show, or you bring any politician and you ask them the same thing, they all tell you they have ideologies. But again, there's a semblance of ideologies of one thing that they're not even too sure of. And that is why many of them shy away from debates. That's another key issue here. Many Nigerian politicians don't want to debate issues leading up to elections because they don't have anything clear-cut ideas on how to marshal out, the issues or problems bedeviling the country. And that is why it's absolutely difficult for anyone to say this is what they are. They just go with the names, whether you are progressive or you are a Democrat. But the truth is, till this very moment, we still haven't been able to see a clear-cut definition, just the way we saw in the Second Republic with the UPN and the NPN. But for now, it's same of the same, but with a different nomenclature.
So let's talk about someone who does like to speak, the motivational speaker and businessman Fela Durotoye. He's emerged as the consensus candidate for a party called the Presidential Aspirants Coming Together Party. Isn't that a great name? Coming Together, PACT they're called, ahead of the 2019 presidential election. What can you tell us about Fela?
Well, for now, I think a whole lot hasn't been known about Fela, and many politicians, many journalists here in the country are still having it really tough getting Fela to come talk. Fela has been a little bit evasive, and that's just the truth. I, for one, I have tried to reach out to Fela, and people will pick up, his number. But for Fela, I think coming together, talking about PACT, because I also had a conversation with Professor Kingsley Moghalu, and he said he's not angry about PACT, but he's disappointed and angry with the process that led to the emergence of Fela. So meaning there's a skewed process. So if we have Professor Moghalu faulting that, and we're also having a couple of other people faulting the process that led to PACT, some are already saying it looks like, the young alternatives that should be coming up in the political fray in the country are stealing the very bad nature and idea of the old breed. But Fela is a good guy so far, a motivational speaker, but Nigerians are not looking for words now, they're looking for action. And that is why, very importantly, many are still talking about Kingsley Moghalu, who has been able to analyze and pinpoint some of the issues. I was lucky to get this from him, and this is a book he's written, and he said since 2016, that was when he started analyst mode and coming as a president to solve our problem. So we're still hoping that all other aspirants and candidates in other parties will come talk to Nigerians and sell their points and leave these normal rhetorics of telling us about security, economy, without, at the end of the day, putting a finger on what the problem truly is.
Automatically, we know that by increasing a fee or something, you're automatically kicking out
eliminating
young people,
a great number of people
right?
who can't afford it.
Even women and young people. How do the average Nigerian, they earn some of them don't even earn close to 100,000 a month. So how do you expect them to afford 22 million, 45 million? Where are they going to get such money from?
So I guess what it's then saying is, I mean, let's think about solutions here. Then saying it's almost saying that young people should then start to think about smaller parties, smaller platforms, because many
exactly
smaller parties are saying, Andrew.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, the young people, in effect, control the country. They just don't know it, right? I mean, the demographics are there, the numbers are there, you've got young, connected, smart people. They can decide this election if they choose to, right? And they can choose the leaders that are going to do the things that are needed to create the opportunities. I mean, how much longer can we go without jobs for young people, opportunities for young people on that? But I just don't think that they've necessarily woken up the political consciousness. But if you just look at the numbers, most countries, because of the demographics, if you go to the UK or you go to the United States, older voters control who's elected. But in Nigeria, that's not true.
You know, I think it's a time bomb that is waiting to explode at any time. For me, I think there's even a bigger issue. The bigger issue is that if someone is just buying a nomination form for 45 million naira, what is going to happen when that person gets into office? You know, that's just
How many favors do they have to pay back with that money?
absolutely. And then how much more do they need to spend to actually get to the to the office? So that's the bigger issue for me, and not so not till we have a situation where money politics is demonetized, we're still going to be having this challenge.
Go forward. We've got about 2 minutes or so. Any of you, let's wrap this up in a nice bow, and then come back to where we started. Muhammadu Buhari going forward now. We've talked about very quickly some of his successes. We've talked about some of his challenges. I mean, could you look forward a little bit and maybe tell us what you might see? What's the next big thing we're going to see on the horizon? It seems like every day there's something new. But Femi, what are you expecting?
Well, I think we're going to see a very interesting battle ahead. In terms of, I see a person like, I don't know why, but I see a person like Bukola Saraki playing a very prominent role.
Possibly getting the nomination?
Possibly. He seems to be the cat with 9 lives who's refused to die. He seems to be a very smart...
I think he's down to number 5. But yeah.
He seems to be a very smart guy, so I think he's going to cause some upset, and he has already started doing that as well. In terms of the All Progressives Congress, I think each day things look more and more dicey for President Buhari in terms of returning to office.
And Aisha, what do you want to see?
I can't tell you what I want to see, but I will tell you what I don't want to see. I don't want to see those sick leaves again. I think he's taken way too much sick leave. I work...
No more sick leave, says Aisha.
I work 9 to 5 in a year and I get 25 days off. He's had more than 3 months off and he runs the country. So I do not want to see any more of that. In terms of Saraki and the rest, I feel like PDP has a lot on its hands right now. And he has candidates like David Mark that is so loyal to the party. So that's big.
15 seconds I've got to give you to wrap up. Final thoughts.
Well, I mean, this is a pivotal moment for Nigeria. We can't go on the way we've been going on. But I trust Nigerians are going to make the right decision. So God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria from your mouth to God's ears. Thank you very much. I want to say thank you to Femi, to Aisha, and to Andrew for the first episode of Nigeria Decides. Don't forget, and Sulaiman, not to forget you over there in Lagos, Sulaiman. This has been Nigeria Decides. Don't forget, you can follow us at RealJHUK on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're on all of those. I'm Mark Edo, and from the entire team here in London, goodbye, and see you next time on Nigeria Decides.